troubles in the world, I forget all I've got. I know.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Rockin for God with Lisa Marie Nicole. And I am Lisa Marie Nicole, your host. And I got a great show for you tonight. Before I start, I just want to say a couple of things. I just want to thank you guys for voting for me for all the things I put out there on Facebook. I know it's a lot to ask for you, but I want to thank you anyway. And I also want to just let you guys know that I have 4 shows coming up this month. The first one is today, and I have another one on the 16th. I have another one on the 24th, and then there's another one on the 30th. So that's going to make 4 shows in August. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But I have a really good show for you today. I have a real unbelievable singer-songwriter, Jennifer Alvarado, is going to be on with me. And we're going to talk to her about her life and her music and play 2 of her songs. And starting today, don't forget to stay till the end of the show because I'm going to be ending the show with one of my videos. So that's how the show is going to end. So just stay till the end until the video ends, and then the stream will end then. So let's get her on and talk to her. Hey, Jen, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Let me put this volume up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Can you tell everyone watching? I know everybody knows your name already. You want to give them a little bit about where you're from?
Yeah. So I am originally from Hickory, North Carolina, and I still live in North Carolina. When I got married, I moved about 30 minutes away from Hickory. So we're still in North Carolina. I spend about this year I've spent maybe a quarter of my time in Nashville. Last year I was spending about half my time in Nashville and working on music there. And this year I've been trying to get music out and touring other areas. So usually I'm either on I-40 or at home, like somewhere in North Carolina. But yeah.
I love North Carolina. That's a beautiful state. And you spend a lot of time in Nashville too, you said, right?
I do. Yeah. I try to go up there at least the end of each month. It's been a little less this year, but I try to go up for rounds and just co-writes and stuff like that, and play a few shows around that area and then come back. But yeah, I always try to like jam pack as much as I possibly can when I'm up there, and yeah, I love it.
You're a multi-genre artist, correct?
I am. So yeah, I started as a contemporary Christian artist. My first record came out in 2015, and I also was doing a lot of writing for our worship group at the time. And so the worship team put out a couple albums during that period of time, and then around about 2020, when everything kind of shut down, I was at home. And I had all these songs, country pop type songs that I had just put on a shelf waiting to maybe do something with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I started releasing them, and it went well. And so you keep kind of releasing stuff. I think too, I had time to actually push the country stuff because like I said, I was at home, where when I released the thing in 2015, I had no clue, number one, what I was doing. And number 2, I was working full time as a paralegal still. And so I was doing that. I was also pretty much a full-time worship leader. And so between the 2 of those, like I didn't have time to figure things out. So, I will say 2020 gave me time to figure some things out.
I actually think that that's the same with every musician. 2020 was a big year for everyone. And I actually released my first song in 2015 also. That's
okay.
So, but 2020, I understand, because I think that's when everybody just really took the time to start writing, because the lockdowns were in a lot of places and a lot of people just, they wanted to start writing. And I think, like you said, a lot of people started to get into different genres at that time also. They were just playing around with music.
Yeah. Well, I know for me, like, I think being out of my normal setting and just kind of having the security of being home, and like you release something, and if people don't like it, you just turn your computer off and move on about your day. You don't have to like face the people. So it's like,
Yeah.
let's try some things. And I think that's what it was more than anything, because, I have grown up a people pleaser and wanting to do everything quote unquote quote perfect and right. And I think when you have that element of perfection, like, you can be your own worst enemy in a
Yes.
lot of ways.
Yes.
And so for me, just being able to kind of disconnect and put stuff out and not have to worry about the opinions that go along with that, was very good for me. And it's what I needed at that point in time to sort of get my footing and my confidence enough in what I was doing to say, okay, I don't, of course you still care if somebody doesn't like your stuff. Like, that doesn't just go away. But I think you get to a place where you have confidence knowing that at least it's representing you, and it's representing what you want to, I guess, to give to the world.
Yeah.
And the purpose means more to you than maybe this one person who doesn't like it.
Exactly. And you can and we've reached many people with our music, and I know you have. And it's and I think with different genres too, you reach all different type of audience. You once you start getting into different things, especially, I know country is good for you, and I know you're good with country. Your music's really great, especially your country songs. All your music's good, but
well, country just feels, I grew up listening to country and wanting to be a country singer. And I sort of, I don't want to say I fell into the worship leader thing, but I mean, church was a big deal. Like, for me, like, it was where I first started singing, and it always, like, God is who gave me
that's
a voice and my talent. So I always want to make sure that I'm using that for him. And so church was where I sort of, started leading. And of course, I led worship for years, and that was sort of what I knew. But yeah, I think with country music, like, it just feels like home. And I think too, I think you see a lot of shift in the world today, where there's so many people that they've been hurt by the church, or sorry.
It's okay. I understand.
I played outside today.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that, especially with the pollen. That really helps.
Okay, that was fun. But I think what I realized was there's so much more to music and ministry, and being able to go out and reach other people that would never set foot in a church because of how they've been hurt or just what they've experienced. And that's the most important thing for me right now, is to be able to be a voice for them. And hopefully this goes away in a second.
I feel the same way you do. I understand, because I do the same thing. And I know we both are Christian artists, so I understand it's a ministry. And I understand, and exactly what you're saying. That's the reason why I started it, because of the same thing, to spread the word and message, and to help people that out there that are lost and that did leave, and even the ones that are still there. I mean, that's what, and like I always said, whatever we use to glorify God,
right?
And that's what we do, and you do. So, and that's a great thing. But I want to know, how many instruments do you play besides guitar?
I play some keys, so if I have to play them, I will. Like, I write with piano a lot. I hear it differently, and I hear it more completely when I'm writing with piano.
Mhm.
And I used to teach ukulele, so I do play ukulele some.
I love it.
And then I started on mandolin. Mandolin was actually,
Really?
yeah, that was my first instrument. And I played it until it got broken, and then it went into a closet for a long time. And then I also play bass if I have to. So it's been a while since I've had to play bass, and I by no means claim it, but I can play it if I have to.
Yeah, that's great. That's a lot of instruments because a lot of people just play one instrument. And yeah, I tried to start with the keyboard, but I'm actually learning it. I'm teaching myself the keyboard, but piano is hard. Piano's hard when you first started at the beginning. It's
Oh
hard.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I think too, like piano for me, a lot of it's so much theory. There's so much theory that's part of it. And so I love theory. And I think that it helped me understand, honestly, it's helped me understand guitar better, because when you're learning the keys and the scales and all that, like you can basically just transfer that over to other instruments. And for me, it's really helped the theory portion of all of it.
And you're right with I also agree with what you said about how the songs, when you play different instruments, like I feel like it changes the song, like if you play with just piano, or you put piano in a song that way you just want a guitar in. I mean, or if you start with the piano, I think it, like you said, I think it does change it. Are you still a worship leader? Your husband's with you, right? Aren't you with your husband, your worship leader?
No, he will tell you he plays the radio and that's it. No, so yes, I'm a worship pastor actually. So I'm a worship pastor for a church around here.
Good.
And I still do that. Still, lead a choir rehearsal and all that kind of stuff. And I actually had to step away. I was still a worship leader for Celebrate Recovery for that ministry. But I had to step away from that because it was on Fridays. And as you know, Fridays are kind of
I would say.
So I did step away from that. I still go back and help some. I'm actually going tomorrow night to help with Celebrate Recovery Inside, which is the prison portion. So I'm going to the detention center. No, sorry. I'm going to the correctional facility tomorrow to help with that. But yeah, I love worship. I love being a worship leader. And honestly, that's what I was doing and what I thought I would still be doing. And of course, God had other plans. But yeah, that was my whole pursuit kind of thing of that's what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Well, like you said, God had other plans, but you're still doing things to glorify him. So, to keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's a great thing. I mean, I started out in the choir, so I understand. And I still sing in the choir at church. So I'm totally different than that because, I'm Catholic. So we sing, I sing in the choir and I lead the choir sort of as a cantor. Right? But you know what a cantor is? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I do. I do that in church. So, I understand what you're talking about. It's great though to do that, to be able to do anything to glorify God is wonderful. I'm going to play your song "Rock This Way," right, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Okay. This is "Rock This Way" by Jennifer Alvarado.
Crazy train moving on down the track, too scared to look forward, don't wanna look back, like a bird free falling in a neon sky. We were born to take it easy on a sweet slow ride, like a burned out jukebox still plays rock and roll. Your love soothes my soul. We're gonna rock this way to the beat, steady as a drum. We're gonna prove us right and proving wrong, and we keep on keeping on. Like your favorite song playing on the radio and singing out at the top of your lungs. We're gonna rock this way to love. Don't let the sound of your wheels while they're turning ever drive you crazy. You gotta keep on, never stop believing and hold me, baby. Walk this way while you give me a kiss. Can you handle this? We're gonna rock this way to the beat, steady as a drum. We're gonna prove us right and prove them wrong, and we keep on keeping on. Like your favorite song playing on the radio and singing out at the top of your lungs. We're gonna rock this way to love. You don't have to cry no more. I'm coming home to you. And oh my, 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 I'm singing this song for you. We're gonna rock this way to the beat, steady as a drum. We're gonna prove us right and prove them wrong, and we keep on keeping on. Like your favorite song playing on the radio and singing out at the top of your lungs. We're gonna rock this way. We're gonna rock this way to the beat, steady as a drum. We're gonna prove us right and prove them wrong, and we keep on keeping on. Like your favorite song playing on the radio and singing out at the top of your lungs. We're gonna rock this way. We're gonna rock this way. We're gonna rock this way to love.
I had to keep that until the end because I love the electric guitar. Was that you at the end? Was that you?
Oh no.
I love that. The electric guitar is my favorite because I love rock music. So I'm into it. That's a good song. It's really good. What influences you to write certain things? I guess all different types of music is different, I guess.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, so usually I just say, life, whatever's going on. Usually if I'm upset by something, like that's the biggest catalyst of me writing. Yeah. And I think the funny thing, well, I mean, I guess the ironic thing, but it really isn't when you think about it, because this is just how awesome God is. But, I go back and I listen to the songs that I wrote for like my 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was like, I don't know why I'm writing this, but whatever. And so then like a few years later, like just the season I was in and everything, like some of those songs I was like, oh, and it was almost like God gave me those just to have for getting through things on my own, like, when I was ready to go through them. And so a lot of times, like, I don't even know where an idea or whatever comes from. And I feel like then a year or so later, it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I will say, just life in general. Like I write about everything. There's songs that, honestly, I've written some songs about just jobs that I've needed to quit, and I don't know how to just say I'm leaving, like goodbye. And so, I usually write things in the perspective of a relationship, because I feel like for the most part, people understand that and people get that. But yeah, there's a couple songs I've written that are literally me breaking up with a job and just being like, I'm never going back. And I think that that's the cool thing about writing is maybe you aren't able to put words to everything that you're feeling at that moment.
Mhm.
And that's the power of being able to sit down and like just throw words on a page and go back and like look at it and be like, oh, that's how I was feeling. So it's always been just very cathartic for me, and it's been my therapy for, I started writing songs when I was 4 or 5, so it's just always been what I have gravitated toward.
We have a lot in common because I feel this. I feel exactly the way you do, and
Yeah.
I think most songwriters do, especially Christian songwriters, because, like you said, you don't know where it's coming from or why you're doing it, and it's the Holy Spirit talking to us, I
Oh
believe.
yeah.
And yeah, you know that. And with when, like you said, with writing different songs, you don't know who you're reaching with that song. You might, with that song, you say, why am I writing this? You might be
Yeah.
reaching somebody you didn't even know you were
Exactly.
reaching. So I understand that, it's and like I said, I think a lot of people, songwriters, are a different breed because we understand each other when we're talking like that, with writing.
Yeah.
But that's great. That's really great. I know you're always performing everywhere. I see you posting I don't know how you do it, but do you book your own shows, or you're not under management, right?
I'm not under management. So I book probably about, at this point, yes, I was booking about 100% of my shows. I probably do about 85% at this point, because I have one main booking agent that I work with right now. And then I have like 2 or 3 others that I bounce shows off of. And so I'm probably going to do a little bit more of that next year. But some of the places that I play, like, I have established relationships with them.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you understand this. So like,
Yeah.
when you have that relationship, it's like, well, do you want to play here once a month? And it's like, yeah, definitely. Because there's places that just feel like home. And if nothing else, you have that like break in the crazy agenda of everything else, that you can just like go and relax and be with people that care about you, and you could probably play a kazoo and they'd be happy. And so I don't know, like,
And you got
sometimes
fans that follow you, right? I'm sure you have fans that follow you to different places, right?
I do. I have some people that show up and stuff like that. Yeah, and I love it. I love when people show up and it's like, oh, well, there was actually, the crazy thing was, there was a little girl maybe 2 nights ago who was singing. I think I was singing Rock This Way, and she was singing it like she was singing the lyrics, and I was like, does she know this song? Like, what? And she did, and I think that's just the coolest thing. Like, I was just sort of like, oh. And so I've had several people that show up and they're like singing the songs, beyond like the people that I know my stuff, like strangers to me, at least for that moment. And then they come up and they introduce themselves, and I'm like, oh, like, and that's the coolest thing. Like, I love that.
It is great when somebody knows the lyrics to your song that you don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It means you're really getting out there, and you're really, people hear your music.
Well, then I get scared because I usually forget my lyrics. Like, I am notorious for forgetting my own lyrics, and like, I'll make stuff up. And so then it's like, it's a whole new added pressure because I'm like, oh no, they know if I mess up. Like,
And you know what? They won't know unless they know your lyrics, and then they're going to say, "Wait a minute, I don't remember that word."
exactly.
Yeah, it's funny. Did you have you collaborated with another artist, or are you considering doing that?
I have. I guess it was 3 years ago. I collaborated with the White House on Stars Collide, and so we had that
that's
song that
right.
came out.
Yeah, I like them. They're good.
Oh yeah, Chris is awesome.
Yeah, I know.
And but yeah, we collaborated, and then I've worked with some other artists on stuff. Yeah, like I'm always up to collab with somebody on something. So
Yeah, me
yeah.
too. It's
Yeah.
it's good. I mean, it's good to do that because, you know, especially when somebody's in a different genre than you, or even in the same genre but they sing differently. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
good to do that because it adds to the song.
it does.
What age did you decide you wanted to sing? I know you said you've been writing since you were 4, right? 5?
Yeah, I was probably about 4, honestly. Like I remember my grandmother talks about the fact that like I was singing before I was even like able to speak words. Like I was, just singing melodies and stuff. And I would make up little songs and all of that. And then I think when I was about 4, my mom went to see like Whitney Houston or somebody in concert, and I was so angry. Like I was like, why can't I go? And to realize that somebody's like actually goes out and performs, and that's their job. That's what they do. So I think from that moment on, I was like, I'm going to be a singer, and then, but at the same time, I like wanted to be a vet. And so I think my parents were like, whatever. And so, you go through all the different things. I want to be a teacher. I want to be an attorney. And so like, it was always between an attorney and a singer. And, yeah.
Well, you could have been a singing attorney.
I had a guidance counselor tell me that one time, but I could do like
court.
Yeah, that's what she said. She was like, you could do a whole musical theater thing for court. And I was like, I don't think so, but
I don't think the judge would appreciate
no,
that.
I don't think so either. I'd be held in contempt. It would be a bad thing. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna play Amazing Love, and then we'll come back and talk about that. All right. This is Amazing Love by Jennifer Alvarado.
Through the valley, I will never walk alone. I feel your presence beside me, helping me to be strong. And from the wreckage, from the chaos, you bring the dead back to I surrender to you my life.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful song. Is that did you how did you write that? I mean, I know why you wrote it, but I mean, for God. But
Um,
it's
Actually, so that song in particular, my parents, they're still married, but they were having a lot of issues, and I actually had it was right after I think I had just gotten married, and we moved in here, like moved into our house or whatever. And my father called me one day, and he was just saying, like, he was basically asking me, like, what should he do with
Mhm.
everything. And I'm an only child, and so there's a lot of times that I wind up in the middle. I'm just gonna be real honest. And I was just like, I can't tell you what to do. I can pray about it, and um, you know, I will pray with you, but ultimately, like, that is between you and God, and He will tell you what to do. And I ended up getting off the phone with him because he wasn't real happy with my answer at that moment. And so I sat down and I wrote that song for him because I was like, you know, God can make all of this new again. Like he can take everything that you feel is wrong and make something beautiful out of it, but you've got to let him do it. And two, I grew up Baptist, and so I think Psalm 23, like, that is one of those, like, memory verses that you
Yes.
just know. And and honestly, up until that point in time, it was one of those verses, or it was one of those psalms that, like, you say at a funeral and it has like a different meaning to it, I
Yeah.
guess. And so I wrote it based on that too, because it was like, no, like, yes, we say this at a funeral all the time, but we're supposed to be saying it about, as we are walking through these valleys,
That's right.
as we are walking through this life, like. And so I wanted to just, and I think with the verse of surely goodness and mercy will follow me all my days, like, yeah, that's the whole purpose. Like, yes, as Christians, like, we are going to be persecuted. We're going to have hardships. Like, just because you chose to follow Jesus doesn't mean that you get some, like, easy pass. And I mean,
It's
if
worse.
anything, yeah, exactly. It's even harder. And you're going to face that. You're going to have that. And you're going to have those trials. And honestly, if you're doing anything that matters, you're going to get spiritual opposition and have those trials. And I just, that's honestly where that song came from. Like, this is worth fighting for, but you've got to give that over to him and trust him, not trust the opinion of everybody else.
So did it help him?
Yes
That's
and
fine.
no. I mean, I think, obviously, like, I think prayer helped.
Yeah, always.
I don't even know if he truly knew that song was for him. Like, I've told him that, but I don't know that it ever, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I know that song has helped other people. And honestly,
Mhm.
years later, it helped me. So, and I learned a lot from that song. And so I think that there's reasons for everything. And yeah.
It's true. And I agree with you 100% because sometimes you write songs for other people and then you're wanting to go back and listen to your own music and your own music actually helps you at times. So I
Yeah.
understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite scripture besides Psalm 23? Is there a favorite scripture that you live by or you love?
Yeah, Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, and He will. So I think that one, but also I'm going to say Romans 2:28, because I think that so many times we want to praise Him when everything's a mountaintop moment and everything's going well, and we kind of forget when things are just moving along, or when things are bad. Like, those are the moments where we're like, God, why? And so I think with Romans 8:28 that he can take all things, the good, the bad. Like, it's not just these mountaintop moments. And so that always puts me back in perspective. And I think also count it all joy when we face these trials, because I used to hate that verse. Like, I was just, because people used to like lean me toward that verse, and I was like, "Ooh, no, I don't want trials." Like, how can you actually consider it joy? And it's like, yeah, because when you are facing those trials, that God is going to sustain you, and he helps to build perseverance, and he helps to honestly make you more grateful for when you do have those mountaintop moments.
That's
and
right.
out that perspective, you would just be going through life, and I don't think that you would be appreciative of anything. I think that that's sometimes what I have to keep in mind too, of when because with music today, like, people have their viral moments, and sometimes it's after they've released like the first video of whatever, and they've had this viral moment, and then they just collapse under the pressure. And it's like, because there's no foundation there. And so those are things that I just keep in mind, that each door slammed, each door closed, whatever, each no you hear, like, that's one more step. Like, it's one more step, and it's also one more reminder of when you are having those good times, when you do win something, or whatever else. Like, it's that moment of thank you, God, and it makes you that much more appreciative.
And your growth from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. Philippians 4:13 has always been my favorite psalm. I without his strength, I couldn't do anything in life. So that's really my favorite. And I wanted to ask you before, but I moved on with others' questions. Do you have a band? Do you play in a band, or?
So I do have people when I need a band. Yes. So I do have, I have people that I call. I'm actually doing a trio show next week. We're doing an acoustic trio.
Oh, that's
cool. So I do have people. I don't have necessarily like, these are my 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
So honestly, those are my 3 or 4 people, because that's who I usually go to. But so I have that. We haven't been doing that much lately, as far as full band stuff.
We do a lot of solo acts.
I do a lot of solo.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, you draw a crowd with your solo acts, and your music's great. So why not? And you don't have to have a band for everything. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
But is there I know you count your blessings every day, but has there ever been a time in your life where you felt like you needed God more than ever? Anything?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's been a million times where
Right.
everybody.
So back in 2018, because to kind of give you a little bit of a recap of my life, I ended up for a long time pursuing law, and doing that. I was still doing the worship leader stuff, but I was pretty much pursuing law, and I got to a place where it was like, hey, I'm miserable. Like, what am I doing here? And you make your way back to music, and so I went into full-time ministry, and I had put these parameters on what I thought ministry looked like and what I thought I was supposed to be doing. And I put time limits on myself all the time. And so I had gotten to a place in 2018 where I ended up leaving to go to a creative director position. And things were just not panning out the way I had put it out there for the world and thought, okay, God, here's my plans. Please make them all happen. And so I went through a period from like 2018 to basically, I would say 2020, end of 2020, where I was just really struggling. And that's where honestly my blog In the Waiting came from, because that was my honest like struggles that I was just sort of sharing with everybody, like, hey, maybe you're in a waiting season too, and it sucks. Yeah. And here's what I'm doing. And just trying to learn through that of that it's about God. It's his plan. It's not my plan, and having patience with that, because I was not born with patience. And of course that's the fruits of the spirit, but I missed that one somewhere along the line. So yeah, that honestly, the Songbird project was very much about everything that was going on and just leaving a very toxic situation, but you still like, my heart was hurting because it was like, God, this was all I wanted. Like, why isn't this working? I thought I did this. I thought I was doing everything right. I thought I heard you say this. Mm-hmm. And it was really just this point where I had to step back and be like, okay, how much of that was my own interpretation of what I thought I heard versus actually just being patient and waiting for it to be correct. Mm-hmm. And how much more did he want to give me, but I was so impatient and so demanding with this, and this is what I want. And just holding on and gripping on for so long and too long to a situation that was not healthy for me at all. So yeah, definitely. It was during that period where I questioned a lot of things. I didn't necessarily question my faith or anything like that, but I definitely questioned like God's plan.
Well, I think that's why I wrote this song called In My Time, Child, because I wrote that when I was going through exactly what you are. And we want everything yesterday. Yep. And I understand that all of us don't understand that it's his plan and in his time. Yeah. And I listen to that song every time I want to quit. every time I feel like you did, I listen to that song because that's why I wrote it. And I understand exactly what you're talking about, because I think so many people have been in that situation, and not just with music, with everything in their life.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it's very hard to wait for him to say yes or no. like the father that he is, he's gonna either say yes or he's gonna say no if it's not in his interest. Right. And his interest for us. So I understand exactly what you're saying. Is there anything in your life that you feel that you haven't done yet that you want to do?
Oh yeah, like I have a whole bucket list.
You want to be president now? What do you want to do?
No. Most of it's just playing certain places or just seeing certain milestones. I think, I think the older I get, the more I am just happy being able to do music and be doing it full time and not, by no means am I out making like millions. But I'm able to go out and do music, and that's all I ever wanted to do, was be able to just go out and share music with people and I don't know, and be able to, I guess, help somebody feel like they matter in some way. So I think that's the bigger thing that if I never do anything else, like at least I've tried and at least I've attempted. But there's definitely places like the Bluebird Cafe, the Grand Ole Opry, the Ryman, like there's definite venue bucket list items that I just, growing up, you see them and I've been to them before as an audience member and stuff like that. And just I want to play there. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else to it. Like I want to go play there.
Well, that was my next question, so you answered that already.
Okay.
Where's your favorite place to play that you've played already?
My favorite place, honestly, my favorite place to play is probably church. I mean, there's just something about it.
That's good.
But I think of the venues I've played, the most, I guess, anticipated, and then like I guess the Viper Room, because I was so scared of the Viper Room. I was scared of like how the crowd would react to Little Country Girl from North Carolina, and like I literally opened my set with Jolene. Okay. And so like I just thought this is gonna go real bad, or and honestly, like just to be in that place, but to be surrounded by people of just all different backgrounds, and it was so welcoming, and it was just, honestly, it felt like what the church should be. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
and it even more sort of like put this fire in me to get outside of the church walls and do music, because I think sometimes we as the church try to be more of a social club than a hospital for the broken and the hurting. And we forget that there's a whole world out there that we're supposed to be speaking to, and we're supposed to be caring for, and we're supposed to be leaving the safety of the four church walls and actually going out and speaking,
Proclaiming the gospel.
yeah, proclaiming the gospel and being his disciples, and not just doing what's safe and comfortable. And so I think that was the first time with a venue that I felt so uncomfortable, but yet then I felt the most comfortable I've ever felt in my life. So it was like this really weird experience of like all this anticipation of what I thought might happen.
Yeah.
To what actually happened was so much better. So
yeah, I mean, I know I've gotten turned down at times because I'm a Christian artist, and they don't want to hear Christian music a lot of places. They just want multi-genre. They want you to play rock. And I mean, I could play anything, but I choose not to. I mean, I can, and I have, but you got people that are, one time I said to this guy, "What's the matter? You afraid a revival's going to break out?" Oh, that's not good. So, but I understand what you're saying. It's because, and there are some people who you might not know that need to hear songs at certain times, or if you are playing Christian music at a place that isn't a Christian venue, there's people there that are going to like it, or they're going to need to hear it. So I don't know what the big deal is. I really think that people should just allow people to play whatever they want, but that's just me. So I want to get, what's your schedule for the rest of the year? I'm sure you got too many things to talk about. Is it on your Facebook page?
My schedule for August is on Facebook. So my website, if you go to jenniferalvarado.com/tour dates, it has my schedule for the rest of the year. And then there's also a link on there if you want to start looking at 2025.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so yeah, it's all on there. I am doing a run the third week of August. I'll be in the Richmond surrounding Virginia area. And then I don't know where I am in September.
Well, I don't know where you are if you don't. So
I know. I have a lot of places, and so I think I have 21 shows in August. And then I think I have 14 in September. But we are going on vacation. So I have it condensed.
Wow, you got a vacation. That's great.
No, we haven't had one in so long. I'm so excited.
Are you going someplace?
We're going to Cherry Grove, which is
Cherry Grove. Where is
North
that?
Myrtle,
Oh,
basically
okay,
North
yeah.
Myrtle Beach, essentially.
So you're
but
staying basically local then in the area, right?
it's
How
like,
far is that?
I guess it's like 5 hours away.
That far?
Mhm.
Well, that's
Yeah,
well,
because
you're
I'm in
north.
Western North
Oh,
Carolina.
okay.
Yeah, and it's on the East Coast. But October, I'm back in Nashville for a little bit. And then November, December, I'm staying pretty much around North Carolina.
That's
I've
good.
got a few, like, I think I've got a couple Virginia dates sprinkled in there, a few dates in South Carolina, but most is pretty local.
I'm gonna make it up there one day. I have to.
Okay.
I've always wanted to go to North Carolina. It's such a
Come
beautiful
on.
area. I'll let you
You need
know.
to come for when the leaves start changing.
Yeah, that's beautiful because that's real fall weather, not
Yeah.
Florida when it's 89 degrees in the fall.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know. I miss that. I miss the fall weather, but I don't miss the cold. So where can people find your music, and because if you tell everybody where to find you, they'll be able to see your schedule, because I know you're always posting your schedule. I see it all the time. You're always posting on Facebook and everywhere.
If you will, you can look me up at jenniferalvarado.com, or all of my socials are Jennifer Alvarado Music. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is all Jennifer Alvarado Music. And then the platforms for music would be Spotify, all them things. You can also look for me on Bandcamp, or you can download my music on my website too.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's so do you have anything else that you want to say, or you have anything else like anything else that you have planned that you want to do?
Yeah, well, so I actually about a month ago, I released the first single off of this project called Lately, that is all about mental health. It's about mental health struggles, things that I've struggled with, but also just the power of sharing your testimony and the importance of sharing your testimony in order to hopefully impact somebody else's life and help them through their struggles. So the project name is Lately. I've got to go back in the studio. I'm not going to actually be able to get back to Boston until the end of October. But I'm going back to Boston to get the other 4 songs recorded.
Yeah, I heard about that. Congratulations on getting that raised. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. But I'm going back at the end of October to get the other 4 songs done. And then the EP will be out at the end of hopefully November. I'm thinking mixing and getting all that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going at the end of August into the studio with my producer that is local to start. Well, Colorado is kind of the one-off of all of this.
Yeah.
It was released back in last November, and it was supposed to be the first single off of this project, but I'm going to go into the studio and work on starting at the end of August. And so hopefully it'll be out the first part of 2025.
Okay, so we'll look for that. What's the title of the EP?
The EP that's coming out at the end of the year is Lately.
Oh yeah,
and,
that's right.
And then this next one is I'm toying with a couple ideas, so I'm not going to give it a name quite yet.
Okay. We'll wait. Everybody that follows her, just look for her music and check her out on all social media pages. You're on YouTube, right?
I am.
Yeah, YouTube. What's your YouTube channel?
Jennifer Alvarado Music.
Okay. So check out her on YouTube, and she's a very busy person. She's all over. If you're up in North Carolina or anywhere, catch her live. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I've seen you on different platforms and stuff. So I know how good you are.
Oh, thank
you. We'll meet one day.
Yes, we will.
I missed you last year at ISSA because I know you showed up late, I think, right? Did you show up?
No, so just crowds like overwhelm me. And so literally like we went and I made my husband go downstairs and sit downstairs with me and like hide. Like I didn't do the red carpet or anything. I felt like such a nerd because I was just like, I'm having a panic attack. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, well, I really appreciate you coming on. It's been really great talking to you, and keep in touch. And maybe one day I'll make it up there, and I'll be praying for you and for your mom.
Thank
and that she's doing better.
She is. It's just a process.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's but like I said, I'll be watching you, and everybody just check her out, follow her, go and stream her music, check out her new EP coming out, and I'm gonna say my music prayer real quick if you don't mind.
Of course.
Lord, thank you for the gift of music, a universal language that transcends barriers. Help us to use it to glorify your name, to find solace during times of distress, and to celebrate your goodness in the times of joy. May our hearts always be instruments playing the melody of your love and faithfulness. Amen.
Amen.
So I really appreciate you. You have a really blessed day and a blessed week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, guys. I just want to mention a couple of things. Jennifer was great, and it's a great show, and I'm really glad I had her on. I have on August 16th, I have Howard Grip coming on. He's a Christian recording artist. This guy is really good. He contacted me to be on the show, and I can't wait to have him on because he was on You God's Music. And he almost won. I think he came in like second or third place, I think. But this guy is a great story, and he's going to be on Friday night, August 16th. And then I'm going to live stream the red carpet event from ISSA at 12 noon on Saturday, the 24th. And then I have another Christian recording artist coming on August 30th, which is Friday night, and she's going to be on. And her name is Carmen Mills. So that's August. Make sure you follow my Facebook page, Lisa Marie Nicole Music. I just started a Rockin' for God with Lisa Marie Nicole, strictly the podcast on Facebook. Follow that, please, because once I can start streaming on that, I'm going to stream on that instead of Lisa Marie Nicole Music. So also, please follow my YouTube channel, Lisa M. Nicole. If those of you that are on here now, thank you very much for following this page and also for following my music. I have a new book that's going to be released October 15th, my first book. I'm very blessed and excited about that. So just look for that. It's called The Christmas Stranger. It's a beautiful Christmas story that I wrote, and it's going to be my first book that I'm have published. So look for that everywhere where you can get ebooks from. And I'm going to leave you guys for the night. I'm going to start playing one of my videos. So I'm going to play, Lisa, this is Stained Glass Window of My Soul. This is one of my #1 songs, and I'm going to play this as I leave. So have a good night, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you on the 16th. Things in this life that make one guess why this world is such a mess. Definition of love is a mirror of hate. When I look in your eyes, I think all is great. I'm staring into the stainless window of your soul. You're looking in, I'm looking out of the stainless window of my soul. I'm reaching out, the world's reaching in, but the light of the Lord is blocking all the sin, and His love will always win. God lives in my heart each and every day. His love is so strong, it blocks all the pain. When you look in my eyes, feel the warmth, not the cold. You're staring into the stainless You're looking in, I'm looking out of the stained glass window of my soul. I'm reaching out, the world's reaching in, but the light of the Lord is blocking all the sin, and His love will always win. Our bodies are a temple paid for with a price. Jesus died on the cross so we could have eternal life. Our eyes are a window into the soul, where depression and anger have taken its toll. Let the Lord be the cleaner to wipe away the stain. Let's start over without any pain. You're looking in, I'm looking out of the stained glass window of my soul. I'm reaching out, the world's reaching in, but the light of the Lord is blocking all the sin.